Hello and welcome to the Motoring News Zone, the show where we take you through the biggest stories in the world of cars right now. This week we ask whether the UK's drink driving laws need to change, the Pope gets his first EV, and we react to the news that half of motorists don't know what their warning lights mean in their cars. That is rather concerning. All that and a whole lot more is in today's show. Let's dive in. Don't do drugs, kids. And don't drink and drive. That is what the GEM is saying this festive period. Of course, this is the most likely time of year, really, where people do silly things like drink drive and drug drive as well. It's a very difficult time, is Christmas, for a lot of people. It's a time when a lot of alcohol is flowing as well. So people, unfortunately, are more likely to do something stupid like drive home after a few drinks, which is never a good idea. But let's have a look at this article on the motoringchronicle.com, guys. So, as police forces across the country embark on this year's seasonal drink drive operations, GEM Motoring Assist is calling on drivers across the country to make safety their priority and ensure they take no risk with drinking and driving. GEM urges everyone looking forward to a festive night out to ensure there's no temptation to drive home afterwards. Pre-booking a taxi, agreeing a designated driver, or making arrangements to stay at a friend's house or a hotel are sensible arrangements that remove the risk associated with drink driving. GEM fully supports calls for a reduction in the drink drive limit, which research shows would save at least 25 lives and prevent a further 95 serious injuries every year. I mean, yeah, it depends what alcohol you have, obviously, but in general, I'm taught that if you have one drink or maybe two, you'll be fine. But it depends on the drink, obviously, depends on you, your tolerance, depends if you've had something to eat. There's a lot of different factors that go into your ABV, your alcohol blood volume, I think it is the actual term for that. So, again, don't take that as advice. I'm just saying that's the thing. But in some countries, like when I went to Romania last year, I found out that you can't drink and drive. And as the only guy that could drive in Romania, because my friend who I was going with, he couldn't. He doesn't know how to drive. Meant that I had to do all the driving, so I couldn't have any alcohol while driving, even to a short, just a restaurant or whatever, just half a beer or a beer or whatever. Couldn't do it. A lot of countries have a zero tolerance on that sort of thing, but the UK does not. So there we go. That's a controversial issue that I could get into in a different video at some point, but not today. As part of the 2023 police operation to tackle drink driving, police officers conducted nearly 50,000 breath tests, of which 9.5% were positive, failed, or refused. The current limit in England and Wales is 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood. Scotland reduced its drink drive limit to 50 milligrams in 2014 to bring it in line with the vast majority of other European countries. The message is clear. According to GEM, alcohol impairs judgment, and driving after drinking even a small amount of alcohol raises every driver's risk of being involved in a collision. There are other factors as well that play into this as well. I mean, there's things like driving while tired as well, which is legal, but obviously very dangerous as well. There's a lot of different things that can impair you while driving, but alcohol is a very avoidable one. You don't need to have a drink before driving, although sometimes people need to drink. Drinking and being tired is a bad one, but driving while tired as well is also a bad one. But sometimes you got to do it, unfortunately. It's a tough one, that. It's a very controversial one as well. Roads policing numbers may have fallen considerably in recent years, with fewer police breathalyzer tests taken in place, but the risks of drink driving have never gone away. GEM head of road safety James Luckhurst has said, "It's shocking that 18% of all road deaths should be drink driving related, because these are entirely preventable. No one should be willing to risk driving after drinking alcohol. That's why this Christmas we urge everyone to take personal responsibility of their own safety and safety of others who share the road. It's not about the risk of being caught or trying to establish how much we can drink and remain legal. Impairment begins with the first sips. If you're drinking, then don't drive. If you need to drive, then don't drink alcohol. Forward planning takes away pressure to get behind the wheel, so we encourage you to plan your night out, book a taxi home, appoint a designated driver, or stay the night at a friend's house or a hotel. Alternatively, appoint a designated driver to enjoy a wider than ever selection of non-alcoholic drink options, including mocktails, juices, and fruit punches, as well as non-alcoholic beers, lagers, ciders, and spirits." To be fair, some of those non-alcoholic beers are actually decent. I will be honest. I don't really drink them so much anymore. I prefer Coca-Cola or something, or Pepsi or whatever. But I used to drink them quite a bit before driving, or while going somewhere. Just non-alcoholic ones. Gave me an excuse to save a bit of money as well, which is always nice. Some pubs even offer a complimentary soft drink to drivers during the festive season. I've never seen that before, but I'm guessing it might be a thing in some places. I've never known it up here though, personally. But yeah, guys, it's one of them things, a lot of people do it. A lot of people drink alcohol before driving. I personally don't. I avoid doing that at any kind of cost. If I don't want to drink on some night, I might just drive myself down to town or whatever. So then I've got the excuse like, well, I'm driving. I've got to get up early tomorrow. I've got lots of things to do. That's my usual kind of excuse, and that way I don't have a drink. So there's that as well. So yeah. Basically, guys, don't be an idiot. Don't drink drive. Especially don't do drugs and drive either. That's an even worse one for many reasons. But there we go, guys. Yeah, are you someone who has done that in the past? I'm not asking you to name names or whatever. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it all? Should the UK reduce its drink driving limit? To be honest, I think that's a good idea. 50 people a year, whatever it was. What was the exact figure with that? 18% of all road deaths are driving related, which is terrible. And 25 lives and nearly 100 injuries when it comes to that as well. So yeah, that's a lot of people. I mean, you might think, oh, for a nation of 60 million people that's not so many. But what if that was someone you knew? What if that was someone you loved? One of my best friends had his brother unfortunately pass away in an accident that was drink driving related. So it does happen. You're not too many degrees of separation away from someone who's been either seriously injured or passed away, for something like that. So personally for me, I think if Scotland have done it, and I don't know what the stats are with that, I imagine it has helped. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Personally, I would lower it. I wouldn't make it zero tolerance. I think that's a bit extreme, but I would lower it to what the rest of Europe is basically, because for things like this, personally, I think it's sensible. So England and Wales and Northern Ireland, presumably as well, should lower their limits too to what Scotland is. But that is just my opinion. I want to hear yours as well, guys. Let us know in the comments below. So the warning lights on your dashboard, you never want to see them coming up, but when they do, you really need to know what they mean and what you need to do in response to those warnings. But apparently 23 million UK drivers are in the dark when it comes to identifying what these warning lights mean, which, needless to say, is not very good. But let's have a look at this, guys. Full article here on the motoringchronicle.com. Warranty Wise is encouraging drivers to familiarise themselves with their dashboard warning lights, as recent research reveals that 46% of drivers in the UK, which could be as many as 23 million people, are unable to identify even half the warning lights on their car's dashboard. As vehicles become more technologically advanced, this lack of understanding not only puts drivers at risk, but could also lead to avoidable and costly repairs, warns the UK's leading provider of extended use car warranties. With the new year approaching, 2025 offers an ideal opportunity for drivers to improve their understandings of these critical alerts. Modern dashboards are equipped with sophisticated warning systems designed to keep drivers informed about their vehicle's health, ranging from simple reminders such as low washer fluid to serious warnings about brake system failures or engine malfunctions. Yet, Warranty Wise's research highlights a troubling knowledge gap, with many drivers unclear about what these signs mean or how urgently they should act when one appears. Even more concerning, the survey, which was conducted in partnership with OnePoll, also revealed that 3% of drivers, around 1.5 million people, are unable to identify any dashboard warning lights at all, leaving them particularly vulnerable to unexpected breakdowns and expensive repair bills. I mean, how do you not know How do you not know ABS? It's literally ABS. That's really bad. How did they pass the test? That's incredible. Ignoring or misinterpreting a warning light can result in delayed repairs, leading to more extensive damage and higher costs, and in some cases, this could even compromise driver and passenger safety. As cars continue to evolve, the growing variety of warning lights demands a greater awareness from drivers. Anthony Diggins, who's the managing director of Warranty Wise, said, "Your car's dashboard warning system is one of the first lines of defense. These warning lights aren't just about convenience, they're essential for your safety and the health of your vehicle. Modern cars bring incredible advancements, but they also require drivers to stay informed. Taking the time to understand your car could save you thousands in repair costs, and with your car likely to be one of your biggest investments, learning what those warning lights mean is one of the best ways to protect it and stay safe on the road. And if the worst happens, that's what we, Warranty Wise, are there for." But remember that if it's found that a driver has driven with a warning light that's been turned on, it can mean your warranty claim is declined. So it's kind of on you at that point, which, not the biggest fan of insurance in general. That's kind of fair enough, really. So therefore, it's important that motorists know what their warranty lights mean and when to act. As Christmas approaches and winter draws in, Warranty Wise is encouraging motorists to prioritise vehicle education and maintenance, as Warranty Wise provides a choice of more than 1 million UK motors to date, which Warranty Wise provides the highest level of warranty for your car's make, age and mileage. It further warns that driving on damage can be a reason for a warranty claim being declined, and therefore it's crucial that motorists know what their warning lights mean and when to stop and get it investigated. So yeah, I mean, look, I'll be the first to kind of admit that, to be honest, I don't know what all the lights on my dashboard would probably mean. I mean, the ones that normally come up, low washer fluid, tyre pressure, that happens quite a bit when it's cold. I know those. I know ABS as well. There's not been an engine oil as well. My old Hyundai always used to be low on engine oil. So I know what all those mean. And to be fair, if a different one comes up, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think. There are dozens of them, to be fair. I mean, the general kind of rule of thumb I was always told was that if you don't know what it is, the rule of thumb really comes when it comes to the light that's on there. So, for example, I think battery, when that comes on, that's normally a red light. So you would have to get that checked out as soon as possible, because without your battery, your car won't start. If it runs out, if it's discharging too much, then your car will just stop while driving. I mean, mine actually failed in my old Hyundai, and it failed on the way to the garage. Like, it literally, the radio cut out as I was driving into the garage because I knew I had to get it checked out as soon as possible. I got very lucky there, but that's with me going to the garage as soon as possible. If you try and drive with a warning light, I mean, a lot of people these days are driving with actual warning lights being shown on their car because they can't afford to get it repaired, and that just shows a really sad state of what the country's in at the moment. But it doesn't take too long. You can go online, you can find out what the lights mean. To be honest, my advice personally would be, if a warning light comes on, if it's a red one, get it checked immediately. If it's an orange one, get it checked pretty quickly. If it's a yellow one, check it out, see what the problem is if you're not sure what it is from the actual light that's on there. Just have a look on your phone or whatever once you've actually got to your destination, as long as it's not too far away. As long as you're not doing like a cross-country drive, it can probably wait. But yeah, definitely get it seen to if it persists, and just get clued up on how to actually test to see if it's okay yourself. I mean, you ideally don't want to go down to a garage if it's something that you yourself can solve. If it's something like an ABS thing, sometimes those can come up by mistake. Same with tire pressure as well. Get out, check the tire pressures out, reset the pressures. If it keeps happening all the time, you've probably got a very slow puncture that you're not able to spot by actually, checking out the tires yourself. So again, it's all down to that. And cars are getting better at telling you stuff. I mean, like, mine tells me if it says it's got low pressure with its tires, it'll say rear left tire is low on pressure. So you don't have to check them all. You know that that's the one that's potentially at fault. So yeah, those are my kind of thoughts on it, guys. Do you know how to deal with warning lights on your car? If you had to deal with it, you had to see it, would you be able to identify what the problem is? Let us know in the comments below. So we cover a lot of news here on the motoringchronicle.com when it comes to electric cars. And one that has recently been converted into an electric car is the Popemobile. Yes, the very same Popemobile that Pope Francis, the head of state of the Vatican City, the head of the Catholic Church, that car that he rides around in is now going to be powered purely by electricity, which is fantastic. That's great to see. And if you want to look at it, you want to get some insight into it, there is actually a gallery on the motoringchronicle.com, but I'll put the pictures on this video while I actually talk about it, because I will be honest, it looks really cool. I mean, I've always thought that the Popemobile looks really cool. It's basically like a G-Wagon sort of car with the back taken off. It's a really cool car. If you've never seen it before, you'll get a good idea of what to expect from it now. But yeah, there's a few really cool shots on the motoringchronicle.com, so check that out. But I will read out this kind of statement really from a Mercedes on this car that they've delivered to the Pope. So Mercedes-Benz has supplied cars to the Vatican for 94 years, and for the past 45 years, the Pope has been using the renowned Popemobiles based on the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. Now, for the first time, the Popemobile from Mercedes is going all electric. Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Kalanius and the team members involved in personally handing over the handmade unique vehicle based on the new electric G-Class to Pope Francis in the Vatican City today. This means that the Pope will travel locally emissions-free in a new Mercedes in time for the 2025 Jubilee, an event that only takes place every 25 years, on one for which millions are expected to come into Rome. The vehicle fulfills high requirements and was developed in close cooperation with the Vatican specifically for the Pope's uses. Its electric-driven drivetrain, which was adapted to the particularly low speeds required for public appearances, of course he just crawls around the crowd basically at like 1 or 2 miles an hour, contributes to the realizations of the encyclical Laudato Si. In it, Pope Francis describes the need for sustainable development. At the handover, Ola Kalanius thanked Pope Francis and all those involved and emphasized the sustainable business strategy for Mercedes-Benz. With the new Pope-mobile, Pope Francis is the first Pope to be traveling in a fully electric Mercedes while making public appearances. This is a special honor for our company, and I would like to thank His Holiness for his trust. With the Pope-mobile, we are also sending out a clear call for electromobility and decarbonisation. Mercedes-Benz not only stands for the special and individual, but also the consistently creating the conditions for a net carbon neutral new car fleet in 2039. They've got that goal, guys. Let's see if they actually achieve it. So yeah, some more quotes on the actual article itself. Like I said, I will have put some pictures of the car over the video, so you guys have got a good look at it. But yeah, head over to themotoringchronicle.com for more information on this and more cool things. I mean, honestly, it looks incredible. Like some of the seats they've got in the back look absolutely fantastic. So I think yes, His Holiness will look very nice in that electric G-Wagon. That's basically what it is. It's, you know, I love how it's used as like a kind of a bling car, like a really cool status kind of car, but also the Pope uses a modified version of it too. I'll never not find that funny. But yeah, for much more news on the world of motoring and much more crazy things like this, do keep it tuned here to themotoringchronicle.com. So Kia and Hyundai, the two giants of Korean car manufacturing, have announced plans to launch an X-Blee shoulder, which looks like some sort of wearable robotic device that workers can use while manufacturing cars. That's just going off of the thumbnail for this article here on themotoringchronicle.com anyway. But let's have a look at what this is, because I'm always fascinated by stuff like this. I did a video not too long ago with my good friend Ed Bernardin going over future predictions that someone made back in the 1960s and how true they are in 2024, and a lot of them are actually pretty accurate. And while the whole modification of humans really hasn't happened in the way that he predicted, we are in a sense kind of doing that. Things like knee replacement, hips replacement, all these things are in a sense unnatural and modifications to allow our bodies to be functional and useful for longer than what it would be otherwise. I mean, it's a great thing that we're doing, but at the same time, it's not something that would happen back in the day. These people wouldn't be able to move around, so thank God it is happening. But let's have a look at this one here. This looks really, really interesting. Full article on themotoringchronicle.com. Hyundai and Kia corporations have unveiled a reliable companion for industrial work. The wearable robot X-Blee shoulder, this device, it just being worn, can increase workers' efficiency and reduce musculoskeletal injuries. Interesting. Hyundai and Kia unveiled the X-Blee shoulder at Wearable Robot Tech Day held at the Hyundai Motor Studio Goyang near Seoul in South Korea. The A brand, a combination of X symbolizing infinite potential and able indicating anything can be realized, heralds a new era in wearable technology. The shoulder, which the first product in the X-Blee line, is an industrial wearable robot developed by Hyundai Motor and Kia's Robotic Lab. It heralds a new era in wearable technology when used in overhead work. Where the arm is raised, it can assist the upper arm and muscle strength and reduce the burden on upper extremity musculoskeletal systems. So in the sense of this, it sounds like something that's like an upgraded version of like, I don't know, like an elbow pad or a knee pad or something like that, you know, what people wear to basically try and help their muscles when they're a bit, you know, a bit tired and stuff like that. You'll see people in the gym with them a lot. You'll see people working with them sometimes too, I imagine, as well. There's a nice little infographic there on the screen just to go through what it does and everything. Only weighs 700 grams per side, gives 60% shoulder and load reduction, and 20 seconds worn alone. What does that mean? 20 seconds worn alone. Maybe we'll find out further down. Hyundai and Kia anticipate the X-Speed shoulder will find use in various industries, including construction, shipbuilding, aviation, and agriculture, not just automobiles. Following its domestic launch, the companies plan to gradually expand sales to overseas markets. In addition to the X-Speed shoulder, Hyundai Motor and Kia plan to develop an industrial wearable robot waist to assist the waist when lifting heavy loads, and a medical wearable robot X-Bleed Mex, the Mexican version potentially, for the sorry, I had to for the rehabilitation of walking impaired people. That'd be great. That'd be really great if they could do that. The X-Bleed shoulder is a wearable robot that leverages the technical capabilities of the robotics lab and implements feedback from actual users, said Dong Jin Hyun, the vice president and head of robotics lab at Hyundai. Sorry, Hyundai. It's not Hyundai anymore. I keep saying that naturally. Hyundai. It's Hyundai nowadays. And Kia. Going forwards, we aim to expand the availability of wearable robots, creating products that work naturally with users to enhance their daily lives. By pushing technological boundaries, we will make these beneficial products accessible to more people. The XB shoulder can reduce shoulder load by up to 60% and anterior/lateral deltoid muscle activity by up to 30% reduction to improve the quality of life of workers. Just get lifting, man. Just go to the gym. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, it's a good thing, this, genuinely. The shoulder was designed with user safety as a top priority. It uses carbon composite material and wear-resistant material used in high-end vehicles. Due to the product's high strength and lightweight, it can be used stably without difficulty, even for long hours of work. Also, the parts that directly touch the user's body are designed to protect against bodily injury that can occur in industrial sites by applying impact-resistant materials used in the top part of the vehicle's crash pad. The modular robotic components and the detachable washable vest make this product not only easy to manage and adaptable to various work environments, but also compatible with standard work attire across different industries. The biggest feature of the shoulder is that it generates assistive force through the muscle compensation module instead of the electric system with a non-powered torque generation structure. There is no need to charge it separately, making it convenient to maintain and manage, and it can be used lightly and safely without the battery. The XB shoulder's assistive force is generated by a patented multi-link structure in the muscle compensation module. Each link in the multi-link can be adjusted to give optimal assistive force in various work environments. The module is expected to perform around 700,000 folding and unfolding actions yearly in industrial settings. The XB shoulder comes in two versions, basic and adjustable. The basic version is best for tasks where the posture is not fixed and continues to change, and offers up to 2.9 kilogram force? I don't know what kjf is. Yeah, just force. That's probably something like a Newton or something like that in metric, but I don't know. Although that is a metric unit, but anyway. The adjustable version is ideal for tasks that repeat the same movement, allowing users to set the angle for minimum torque based on their work posture, providing up to 3.7 kilograms force of assistive force. The XB shoulder weighs roughly 1.9 kilograms and can be sized to fit the wearer. Its body length is adjustable between 0.4 meters and just over 0.4 meters, 406 millimeters and 446 millimeters to be exact, and it allows full arm movement of up to 0 to 180 degrees without hindering work or rest activities. Use of feedback significantly influenced the development of this device. A pilot trial conducted between 22 and 24 involved approximately 300 workers and health managers from Hyundai and Kia. The user suggestions, including ease of use, comfort, unrestricted movement, and adjustable assistive force, as well as easy cleaning, were incorporated into the product improvements and new features. So I'm not going to read any more out because we've gone way over here. This is a long old article, but the question is, how much is it going to cost? doesn't really say. It just says about the market size. So that is my one potential criticism of this. How much is it going to cost? Because they don't say. And whenever you walk into a shop and they don't have the price tags on anything, it's a bad sign because it's going to be expensive. They're going to hope that you pick it up and not, hear the price and think, well, I've already committed to it. Here you go. So that'd be my one thing. Just how expensive is this device? But in terms of the functionality and everything, it sounds really cool. It sounds like something really innovative from Hyundai and Kia. Because for you guys that don't know, in Korea it's a little different with. We do see it a little bit in the West as well. But with these giant manufacturers, like Samsung, Kia, Hyundai, it's probably some other ones from Korea that I'm thinking off the top of my head, but these companies, they do a bit of everything over there. That is what they do. They're not just in Kia and Hyundai's case, they are not just car manufacturers. They do all sorts of stuff in all the tech spaces, basically. Same with Samsung too. We see it a little bit here. They do any kind of technology, laptops, computers, phones, any of that good stuff, but they do more over there as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of it, how popular it becomes, what it's like when it hits the international market. And of course, we'll be here to bring it on themotoringchronicle.com. We love answering your popular questions here on themotoringchronicle.com when it comes to anything to do with the world of cars, the world of transport, or anything in between. And one of the questions that I've seen recently on the internet is being asked by a lot of people is, which are the most popular car brands in the UK, i.e. the top 5 most popular car manufacturers in the United Kingdom? Well, there's a few different ways you can answer this. So I've gone on to motorway.co.uk and found some interesting data here. Now, this is from 2020, so things could have changed, of course, since then. It's been a couple years since then, 4 in total, of course. But I think this gives a good idea of which car brands are the most popular. Now, this obviously aggregates all the different kind of models, really, when it comes to different types of cars, and the different brands, the different manufacturers are all named in here. I'll just run through the top 5 though. That's because that's what the question is asking, basically. So in total, number 5 is Audi. They have 1.79 million cars on the UK roads according to this data at the moment, which makes sense. Very popular are German cars in the United Kingdom, and there are 2 more right after this. So number 4 is BMW. They certainly have a reputation here in the UK, just like Audis do, but they are very popular. 1.94 million of those on the UK roads currently. Then it's Volkswagen, 2.87 million of those on the roads in the UK at the moment. But at the top, it's a car brand that is, well, mainly manufactured in the UK, at least our ones are that we have here, but ultimately an American one. But in second place, it is a proper British car brand. That is Vauxhall. Again, Vauxhall drivers have a certain reputation here in the UK, certainly Astra drivers and Corsa. Because of Corsa, there are apparently 3.16 million cars on the road that are made by Vauxhall today. And top, if you hadn't already guessed it from my little description there, is Ford. They have 4.16 million cars on the road in the UK. Their market share is declining though, so that number will probably have fallen a little bit since this data was collected. In fact, this data is actually from 2021. And interestingly as well, there were just under 40 million cars, or vehicles I should say, on the roads in the UK. So that means that more than 1 in 10, more than 10% of vehicles in the UK are Fords. But again, that market share is falling. Now, there are some interesting stats when it comes to the manufacturers overall in terms of which cars are being bought currently. So it's not just about how many are in total or on the roads right now, but which ones are the most popular new cars being bought and sold in the United Kingdom. Well, again, here's the top 5 list for this. Now, this data is from 2022. I've tried to find it for 2024, but we haven't had a complete year, obviously, yet, and it'd just be an estimate, really, on the most popular actual models rather than the brands. But if you aggregate all the brands together, number 5 is Toyota. They sold just over 102,000 units of cars in 2022. Then you've got BMW in 4th place, again making the top 5 in terms of overall cars and the cars being sold. So BMW cementing its place in the top 5. They sold just over 108,000 units in the UK in 2022. And then it's Audi, again top 5 in terms of cars overall and the ones that are being sold currently. They have just sold over 110,000 units. a couple of years ago. And then it's Ford. Ford in the top 2 again, which kind of goes against the market share thing, but I suppose even they have a very large market share. So to maintain that amount at the top, they need to be well on top in terms of being top of the list. But yeah, 126,000 units just over that sold a couple of years ago. The Kuga and the Fiesta and the Puma as well. The Puma being the most popular car, I believe, sold so far in 2024. So even though some people are saying they're on the decline, Ford is very much one of the top car brands in the UK by popularity. And number one that we've said before, Volkswagen. 131,000 units of these sold in the UK a couple of years ago. So they are very much going for the top 2. Interestingly, Vauxhall, who was second on the list overall in terms of market share, they're only 7th overall a couple of years ago. 83,000 units being sold. I expect that's gone up a little bit. They seem to have a quite aggressive marketing strategy at the moment, but we'll see if it pays off for him. But yeah, there you go, guys. If you do it by the overall amount of cars on the road currently, it is Ford. But if you do it by the units that have been sold in recent times, it's actually Volkswagen that topped the list. Again, despite their financial troubles at the moment. But for much more motoring news and opinions and everything in between, do keep it tuned here to themotoringchronicle.com. And if you've got a suggestion, suggest it in the comments. I'm all ears. I'm all up for answering some of your popular questions. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well, guys, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.